my only real understanding of hypnotherapy or hypnosis, I just say, up to that point was the sort of 90s TV show stage
Yep.
trickery where
Uh-huh.
you're turning humans into unsuspecting circus animals.
Hmm. Hmm.
That is ridiculous. Like
Right.
we find this entertaining.
This has been a journey of Keith discovering his authentic self. Any comments regarding that?
Very much so, yeah. Because it's interesting you touch on the authentic self part, because that was my main premise for going to you in the first place. Was like,
Mhm.
how do I become? Like, how do I identify? Like, who
Yeah,
is the authentic Keith? From the age of 10 to 18, talking about sort of the blocked throat chakra. I had a pretty severe stammer, so it helped, and that was a big holdback of being able
yeah.
to interact with the world in a lot of ways. You know, couldn't really get to a place of confidence, knowing
Okay.
how to articulate myself.
Hmm.
That's actually been a great shift with me over the past year or so since we've done a lot of hypnotherapy.
Hmm.
Been able to effectively unblock that and be able to
Wow.
be in the present. What was surprising was like when we were chatting, I think it was like within the first half an hour, uh,
Hmm.
where I found myself being stumped by the questions you were asking, just in a regular sort of conversation.
Yeah, yes,
And it was unfamiliar. It was
yeah,
odd in the sense that like I hadn't experienced that in a sort of talk therapy environment before.
sure.
Because you kind of just run through what it feels like the therapist is run through a checklist,
Yep.
and you're just sort of yes, no, no, yeah, don't feel this. What were the wins today? I don't know. Um,
Right.
you kind of then trying to find anything just to sort of go through the motions and see out the hour.
Yeah.
Whereas with you, it was okay. I'm at this juncture where you're asking me a question where I've got to sit back and let it marinate for a couple of minutes.
Yes. Okay. Uh-huh.
And what does that mean? You know, so like, am I engaging a different part of my brain here?
Mm.
And because I couldn't outthink it, and nor could I verbalize things that you're like, yeah, all you're doing is going around the houses. You know, so what's the answer to the question that you've posed? You
Yeah.
know, and it was uncomfortable,
Yeah.
unfamiliar, and didn't really know how to answer them. And then, if you noticed that I was in a place of sort of completely like I have no idea how to answer that. You
Hmm.
let's probe a little further, throwing a few breadcrumbs to sort of bring me to a
Yeah.
place. Like,
Yep.
oh, I see where you're going with that, and then you'd sort of, and then I would.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um, but what was interesting is I noticed that tapped into more of my intuitive thinking and not conscious thinking.
Yes.
Is there a conflict here with what my beliefs are, what
Hmm.
my faith dictates, if you will?
Hmm.
Um, and it like when you kind of try and rationalize something like that in the sort of the conscious human mind, it rarely makes sense, right?
Hmm.
But what I came to peace again about was that yeah, no, the two can absolutely coexist.
Hmm.
But the place I came to was the hypnotherapy was just another form of praying.
Wow.
But it was a much deeper level of it because
Hmm.
as earlier, like you're still very much in control of your faculties,
Hmm.
but you're able to access a much deeper part of your mind,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you can really dig into the stuff that's holding you back, you
Yeah.
know, because we're through my faith, like forgiveness is a major tenet of it.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of unforgiveness still floating around in here for very,
Hmm.
but um, nonetheless, with the hypnotherapy, I noticed that you're able to identify what was preventing you from being able to be in a place of forgiveness, from preventing you from being in a place of compassion or empathy,
Hmm.
very, sort of key elements of sort of, as I'll say it, the sort of the Christian way,
Hmm.
um, where it's just like, how do you reconcile that? And there is no reconciliation to be had because you're
Hmm.
just all you, it's just a different form praying, and
Yeah.
that's how I just came to be at a place of
Hmm.
yeah, understanding and then peace with it, and from there it's just blossomed, quite honestly.
Yeah.
What I came to find is that there was just this missing depth. There was
Mm.
something where I wanted to get into a place of a much deeper understanding of what makes me tick.
Hmm.
What are the pieces that are potentially being held back?
Yeah.
What are the pieces that are, I guess, sort of just getting in the way? One thing that I came to know about myself through the hypnotherapy is that I guess I'm a clairsentient.
Yeah.
Is the word you
Right.
use?
Uh-huh.
Um, where if something is triggering me or something sets off the alarm bells or is a red flag or something,
Yeah. Yeah.
something in me will sort of fire up.
Yes.
Like whether it's sort of like depending on where it is in the body, or
Yeah.
something that you then need to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean that's obviously broaching into the metaphysical realm, pretty much.
Yeah.
But that I find that all fascinating anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, regardless, it's being able to identify with it as a gift really helps,
Yeah.
because then you're just in a because it's yet another tool at your disposal.
What would you like the skeptics to know about hypnosis? Can you sprinkle some wisdom?
Yeah. Um, First thing to do would be to step outside your own ego and any pride that's getting in your way,
Hmm.
because that's the primary blockage.
Yeah.
You're never going to improve unless you do that,
Yeah.
or things aren't going to improve unless you truly sort of move past that barrier that's self-inflicted, quite honestly.
Yeah.
um, and then know that you are a soul first,
Yeah.
and then mind and body,
Yeah.
and it's the soul that effectively needs to be nurtured, and the only way of really
Yeah.
truly connecting to that is by getting into the subconscious mind.
Wow.
You can't do it
Yeah.
consciously.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I tried, believe me.
Yeah.
There's only so much breath work you can do before you start hyperventilating, like.
Right. Right.
Again, I see it as another form of exercise now,
Mm. Okay.
um, where it's just like any muscle. It only gets stronger the more you do it.
Mm.
And I was struggling for a long time of doing the rote prayers
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah.
Again, they all have the merit. Or you're reading scripture, or you're doing this, or you're doing the other. Again, all very powerful stuff. But to truly get that connection,
Hmm.
you can't really do it properly in a conscious state,
Wow. Hmm.
because honestly, as far as the spiritual realm is concerned, that's
Hmm.
beyond our conscious mind.
Right.
And again, this is pretty
Right.
metaphysical,
Yeah.
but I mean that's the truth. Where it's just like we are like there's a realm beyond this that we are not able to perceive in our
Hmm.
conscious state.
Hmm.
Um, Through the work that I've done with you and others, other kind of mechanisms, for instance, yoga, even,
Hmm.
um, it really opens that pathway
Hmm.
to be able to connect at a much deeper spiritual level and
Hmm.
quite honestly develop the relationship,
Hmm.
because it becomes
Hmm.
because you get a much deeper sense of the reciprocity
Wow.
opposed to you just talking to thin air, you know.
That's a powerful, powerful word, Keith. Reciprocity, right? We begin to have a connection with higher power that we can feel,
Hmm. Yeah,
right? Which is much different than just talking or hearing about it, right? About God in scripture. But when you can open your spiritual pathways and place yourself mentally, emotionally, physically in the receive position, right? That
yeah,
word reciprocity is powerful.
yeah. I mean, it goes from like like the way I liken it, just as simple as it can, like the antenna on your car, you know, like the one the little thing that's sticking up to
Yeah.
a radar, like to some big old dish that's trying
Wow.
to pick up the radio waves from deep space. You know,
Yeah.
it's that level of change.
Yeah. Keith, I appreciate you so deeply. Um, all of your personal insights, spiritual insights, emotional insights, all of your wisdom and honesty in walking through this, especially now that, over a year has passed since the beginning of this journey. I think those types of podcast interviews are even more powerful because now people have had, right? Some of our healing is more instant and automatic, those aha moments. But in reality, a lot of our healing takes there's a longer journey, right? There's more work. Um, and the work that we do builds the foundation, right? It's not fixing everything.
Yeah,
It is
there's no
strengthening.
quick fix to anything.
Right, right.
Well,
It's
but you've also got to let it the subconscious do what it needs to do.
yes, yes. It's got to percolate,
Yeah.
right? And
There's a patience with that, which is
yeah, yeah. And we pull forward the wisdom, right, on an as needed basis when we're ready.
mm,
When we're ready. So, Keith, thank you so much for being so generous with sharing your ideas and with your time today. And I will let you know when this goes on air. I appreciate you. Keith, I'm going to close up our show for today. Again, my name is Amy Marone with Sensorium Hypnosis. You can find me online at www.sensoriumhypnosis.com. Keith, thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, and I know I'll speak to you again soon.
thank you, Amy, from the
Take
bottom of my
care
heart.
now. Okay, bye bye.